Welcome to the Rap Soul Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of music that moves our hearts and gets our feet tapping. This is the intersection of rap and soul music from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We appreciate you for listening. Share this podcast with a friend or family member who loves music as much as you do. The podcast is hosted by 12 Kyle. Next up, the Rap Soul Podcast.
Eminem, Renegade. Eminem most definitely outrhymed Jay-Z on that verse. It is a very, very good Eminem verse. And the thing about it was, at that particular time, you could make a case that Eminem was the best MC in the game. If he wasn't, he was at the top. Definitely one of the most popular, but he was dope. I don't think you can front on Eminem in any way, shape, or form as far as the type of music that he was making at the time. For me, if I'm ranking them, I got to put him at 4. As great as it is, it has to place somewhere. I'm placing it at 4. Welcome to another edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Again, this is the Rap Soul Podcast. This is the intersection where we have discussions about music and artists from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s when it comes to rap, hip-hop, soul, and R&B. Simply put, folks, this is the best music podcast that you have never heard until right now. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. All right, check this out. You see the title, and I'm sure after you read the title, you're probably wondering, what is this? The title, Busta Rhymes, AZ, NaS, Eminem. I saw a meme the other day, and it struck me because it literally made me stop in my tracks to examine exactly what it was they were trying to compare. And in the meme, it compared these 4 MCs. But the caveat was, the caption read, "Who had the best guest verse?" Now, if you follow this podcast, you know that I did an episode on some of the best guest verses in hip hop history. But more specifically on this particular meme, they wanted to know who had the best guest verse from these particular 4 MCs and the songs that they had the guest verse on. So for Busta Rhymes, now you all know Busta Rhymes all the way back from Leaders of the New School. Busta Rhymes had a guest verse on the song Scenario by a Tribe Called Quest. It was the last song on the Low End Theory classic album, and Busta Rhymes did what Busta Rhymes does. He ripped it. So his verse on Scenario is being, asked about in this particular meme. Then there's AZ. AZ had a guest verse called Life's a Bitch on Nas's debut album, Illmatic. Listen, I mean, it is incredible, just to say the least. AZ tore it up. I mean, AZ did so well on that particular guest verse that, you really didn't need Nas to rap. And that's crazy because that's Nas' debut album. That's a classic. Next, Nas. The song is called Verbal Intercourse. Now, if you're familiar with the Purple Tape from Raekwon, well, actually, it's not called the Purple Tape, but that's what we call it in the streets. The album is called Only Built for Cuban Links. And Nas had a guest verse on a song called Verbal Intercourse where Nas killed it. I mean, killed it. And then last but not least, Eminem, the great MC Eminem, had a guest verse on Jay-Z's Blueprint album entitled Renegade. Now, Nas famously said Eminem murdered Jay-Z on his own track. Did he murder Jay-Z? He kind of did. So the meme basically is just asking who had the best guest verse. Now, it let's just be honest, folks. It's really up to, it really depends on what you like and what you dislike as far as these particular MCs. I will say this much. All of them are worthy in this particular meme of being voted number 1. There's really no right or wrong answer. I can make a case. I literally could make a case for all of them being number one. These could be the four best guest verses in hip hop history. I'm without having a list in front of me. I don't think that um, that they are, but I will say this much: you won't get an argument from me without looking at a list. I can honestly tell you that I think these four are at the top. That being said, I have to ask, and I will ask you, of the four MCs and their guest verses, who do you think had the best guest verse? Again, Busta Rhymes on Scenario, AZ on Life's a Bitch, NaS on Verbal Intercourse, and Eminem on Renegade. You tell me. I'm going to tell you who I think had the best guest verse, and I'm going to actually rank them. Coming in at number 4, Eminem, Renegade. Eminem most definitely, I think, outrhymed Jay-Z on that verse. It is a very, very good Eminem verse. And the thing about it was, at that particular time, you could make a case that Eminem was the best MC in the game. Or if he wasn't, he was at the top. Definitely one of the most popular, but he was dope. And I mean, like, he made dope music. So I don't think you can front on Eminem in any way, shape, or form as far as the type of music that he was making at the time, as well as, you know, what he did on that particular verse. For me, if I'm ranking them, I got to put him at 4. As great as it is, it has to place somewhere. I'm placing it at 4. Number 3, this may surprise some folks. Scenario, Busta Rhymes. Now, granted, at the time that this came out in 91, 92, oh yeah. I mean, like, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Rah, rah, like a dungeon dragon, change your little drawers because your pants are sagging. Yeah. I mean, like, but I mean, even since then, Busta Rhymes doesn't rhyme the same way anymore. The Dungeon Dragon style of rhyming, he doesn't do that anymore. So I think for me, that's probably why I knocked it down, because he doesn't rhyme like that anymore. And I'll be honest, I don't know how his voice would survive if he did all that all that damn yelling. So yeah, I've got Busta coming in at number 3. Number 2, I've got NaS with Verbal Intercourse. Now, I'm sure that there are few of you that may not know this or as familiar with this song, but NaS rips this to shreds. My favorite part where he said, "Props is a true thug's wife." Ain't that the truth? Because thugs always want the props. They want props for stuff that they didn't do. They want props and credit for stuff that they ain't gonna do or ever think about doing. But yeah, I've got that at number 2. And then obviously number 1, Life's a Bitch. I mean, like, it's crazy because I think when you examine that guest feature in its totality, I don't know if AZ has ever been able to step out of the shadows of that guest feature, if that makes sense. And it's not that he hasn't made good music. He's made some great music. And he continues to put out albums. Shout out to Eclectic, because my boy Eclectic, he he loves him some AZ. But yeah, man, it's I think AZ is one of those MCs that's still slept on, and I don't know if you've ever heard his best work yet, because I think he's still got some really great albums left in him. I don't think he's peaked at all as of yet. But I just think that verse, as iconic as it is, as well as it is, I just don't know that I don't know that he will. I'm still waiting on him to surpass that. Not as far as how he rhymes, but as far as like how he's received by the masses. But it's still a dope MC nonetheless. And again, I'm not arguing with anybody. You can move these around however you want to. There are going to be some of you that have Verbal Intercourse at 4, right? I doubt very seriously that anybody's going to have Life's a Bitch at 4, but you might. I don't know. That could be whack, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, like I said, those are my 4 as far as ranking them. I appreciate the meme. The meme came from what is it? QB_NYC on Instagram. And I don't know if Nas made that because he's from Queensbridge and the person that runs that account is from Queens. Who knows? I don't know. But nonetheless, like I said, it's a healthy debate for hip hop fans. I'm not debating with any of you, but I would like to know your opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. We drop new episodes weekly. Also, wherever you're listening to or watching this episode, be sure to tap into the 12 Kyle podcast. That's the flagship podcast for me. That is my personal podcast. Be sure to check that out, download, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, do the same for this podcast. Remember, this podcast drops weekly. Pass the word. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.